But my point is that there should not be a word that any human can call another human that would cause the other human to suddenly react out of anger without thought of the repercussions of their actions.
Well, Vlad, you got to think where we came from.
Yeah.
Where the term come from. You got to look. You got slavery, all this other shit. Then all the way up until now, you got white people that truly believe a nigger is not worth his conversation. His
It's not human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's offensive. And if you really feel like that, the first thought in my mind is this is a racist motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I remember when we was little, when Roots came out, we went to school and beat up every white kid. It made you hate white people more. But our days now, you see white women marrying black men, white men marrying white women. It's changing, but racism is still there.
Yeah, we actually just interviewed John Amos, who played Kunta Kinte in Roots. Played the adult Kunta Kinte. Lunel, one of our outside interviewers, she actually does interviews for us now. She interviewed John. And they talked about how white kids would get beat up. Like after that series came out, white kids were getting beat up at these schools because the black kids.
They ever call you the N-word?
Once.
And you reacted how?
I corrected their behavior.
Amen.
Suffice it to say.
Amen. Okay. And
I think the statute of limitations is run out on it, so I can admit to correcting. Yeah.
It's all good. Don't worry. It's a no-fly zone. You're safe with me, baby.
Okay.
Safe with me.
You got to understand that in 2020, we know all about slavery. There's been so many movies from like Amistad and 12 Years a Slave, and it's been covered, and there's social media and everything else like that. But I remember reading this one story from Alex Haley, where he said that when he started putting together Roots, because originally it was stories in Reader's Digest. Mm-hmm. It was these short stories about the black experience during slavery, which eventually led to the book Roots, which then led to the movie, to the miniseries Roots. But he said that when he was writing about that, nobody even knew about it. Nobody had mentioned it. It was in no books. There was no movies. There was no major books. This was just an ugly piece of history that America had just buried.
Not just only Roots, they buried a lot of history, especially ours. They started taking the history. We don't have history like in school. I don't need to know about what white people doing. And this is how I feel growing up. When they gave me a psychiatrist, this psychiatrist is white. My whole thing, this white motherfucker can't tell me nothing. He don't know me. Mm-hmm. So I didn't like white people. Growing up, going to the store, clenching all their purses, looking at you a certain kind of way. It's just offensive.
Were there any white people in your neighborhood at all? Because Compton originally was a white neighborhood.
When we moved in Compton in '73, we had a white man across the street from us. We bought our house, our house from a white man, and all the white people was leaving Compton when we moved. Yeah. So, but that one white guy that lived across the street, when he moved, the one on the corner, he died in his home. But our whole block was all black people at first. Now it's changed. Now it's all Mexicans. So everybody is running from something. Everybody is afraid of somebody. White people, when they saw the black people coming, they left. Now they've done moved where they got tornadoes and all this other shit and wish they'd have stayed in their homes. Because you don't really get all this bullshit, but the racism shit, calling me a nigger is one thing. Calling me a nigger is another thing. When you start having white friends and they hang with you and then they start thinking they black and can use the word nigger, it's up to you to say, wait a minute, hold up. Don't use that word loosely. in front of such and such because they gonna get offended by it and they might whoop your ass. We don't do that. We allow everybody else to say it. Now the Mexicans is using it. What's up, my nigga? Come on, man. You know that word ain't bam. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of shit, you have to blame it on us because we allow it. But then we get mad at certain motherfuckers when they use it. Stop being mad about it. Let's start talking to each other without that word, and maybe other people will see, okay, if they ain't using that word, I might not want to.
Yeah.